Affordable wireless printing? Why not with the Pixma MG3620 from Canon?
A quick look at the Canon MG3620 wireless printer.
Welcome everybody, a Spike Studio product review. This time we're looking at the under 60, even 50 in some places, wireless printing option from Canon. This is the Pixma MG3620 that they send. It's about 12 pounds once it's all set up, so you know. Comes ready to go and take out of the box. We're actually going to skip what an unboxing is because it doesn't come with much of anything but the printer itself, and get right into feature, function, and setup.
So one of the important pieces of this whole review is the app itself. Without the app on iOS or Android, basically using the printer is hard to do unless you hook it directly to a computer. So the first step is to add a new printer. Once you do that, then you're able to do all the mobile print, connect it to the Google Cloud Print, or any of the other pieces. The key to everything, of course, is loading this app, which is free in both Android and iOS. Unless you plan on plugging this printer directly to a computer, this is how you drive everything you want to do, including checking levels and performance of the printer itself. So we're going to set up the new printer and come back and do some work with it. I went through the wireless setup, so it found the printer that's across the room and turned on. It says you're just waiting for the connection to start with the printer itself, or you could do detailed instructions for printer setup. We're going to go ahead and let it do the automatic setup and then go through the steps. Now, admittedly, I had to go to the help file to get this to work. I had to do a manual setup, meaning I had to force the printer to launch its own SSID, connect the app to the printer, which then forced it to then accept the connection to the router. Basically, you needed the guide to do it. The little help screens they provided in the pamphlet were pretty good, but if you have issues connecting, just click the button at the bottom, this follow the wireless LAN setup manually, and it works. So as you can see, I have the printer. It shows up there. It's already connected to the router. It's going to grab the printer information for us. You can give it a name. You can call it whatever you want. We know this one's a 3620, so I'm just going to change it to that. It's the only one I'll have here. And you're ready to go. You can select images. You can print. Everything's going to be set, and you can also then connect this to Google Cloud Print and a few other services, which we'll take a look at. So here we are up close with the menu of the main items, the name of your printer at the top. You can do photo prints, document prints. Of course, it also does scanning, which we'll look at. But the cloud print is one of the cool parts, as well as a capture from what you have. What I do like is you can go into the cloud print and set up the services to schedule this with the Canon Internet Cloud Printing Service. That will then allow you to send them via email, as well as control anywhere you are to send it to your home printer. Now, a cool part about this is going to ask you for a password. Then there's an about the password link. Depending on the model you have, some need a password setup, some have it. So I believe this one is just Canon, which is silly that they just don't, if it's going to be Canon, they just don't leave it or set it there. Let's see if this works. Well, another learning experience for this model, it wasn't Canon. It's actually the serial number of the printer I had to go get and look up. So for the purpose of the quick test, we're going to send a photo print over, see the quality, and give our overall impression of setup as well as how well the printer works. We'll go ahead and select this one. It has a bunch of deep colors. We'll say print. It's got the printer set. It's got our printer set. You can see the settings there, how many copies we want, the type of paper we're going to use, which we should look at that because we're going to use something smaller. It's looking for the 4.6 inch. I have regular paper. It's in there now, so we're going to change some settings and go ahead and print. There's the image. It's telling us that it's printing at the top through the little dots, but it's saying check the printer. We want to make sure the paper's available and the ink is ready.
So we're back from the up-close look. We actually did the printing. Print status is complete that you see here. Make sure you have the right paper in there that you set it to on the device itself. And then the final output on a non-glossy picture is really good quality, high, lots of color, pretty good. I can see this being great on a 4x6. This is a stretched image as well as on a glossy matte paper overall. So before we do the final little piece at the end, let's talk about the controls that are actually on the top. There's power, there's the Wi-Fi connectivity. It's going to give you an indicator for errors. Now the problem is you don't have any numbers or no LCD screen. This is a cheaper printer in terms of cost, so you're not going to have all those capabilities, you can tell. The one thing you need to keep aware of is that it'll blink to let you know there's any errors. Of course, we have color and black and white notifications. You can set your paper sizes, start and stop is there, as well as the power. Otherwise, for this, it's pretty straightforward. You have the output and input trays for the paper. Make sure you set the size underneath. You can see there's a little slider under here for the 8.5 by 11 or 4 by 6, which was easy to do. Make sure you have the doors open for the output on the paper. There's also a jam port in the back, and we didn't talk about scanning much or even do a lot of tests with it. We did one, but the scanning capability is there as well for you to run with. So let's go back up top and talk about our overall opinion of this Canon printer. So our overall opinion of the Pixma MG3620. I'm gonna tell you what, it's a pretty good, decent, low-priced printer. It works well, it functions. It was a little difficult to set up. It honestly was. It shouldn't have been as hard as it was to get it to work. It had a lot to do with the app and then connecting to the printer and making sure you understand the little buttons that light up and reading the instruction booklet. It's a lot of work that you had to do in those. Once you got past that point, create the online account if you want to do the cloud printing, but for normal network around the house printing, wherever you are, be it a document, be it a photo, it was easy to do, came out quick. The cartridges themselves are easy to install. They pop right in. They're not huge, so you're going to get as much usage, of course, in color as much as you print. Most people do as much black and white as you can, usually a little bit cheaper that way. The packaging was good, and overall, we like the quality, we like the simplicity on the front. I wish it had NFC, but for the price point of somewhere between 50, 60 bucks, depending where you buy it from, you can't beat it. So, it's another product review from Spike Studio. Hope you subscribe to all our product reviews. Thanks again.